Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Episode number 247. Checking in here with Emerald Labs, the additive-free company. I'm your host of the podcast, Dr. Dejan Matijevic here of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And that's Dejan, like day off, Dejan, if people are trying to spell it out, Dejan. And we're located right inside Healthy Habit Health Foods on the corner of Bethany Home and 7th Street, right here in Uptown Phoenix. And this is going to be a good one here. We're highlighting joint health. A lot of patients and customers here at Healthy Habit are looking for joint support, whether they've had knee replacements or sore hips. Elbows are really common as well, and then fingers as well with different types of arthritic conditions. So hopefully this episode will help you guys stay in the loop with some options for the joints. And Stacy's the National Educator here at Emerald Labs, who we do check-ins here monthly on the podcast. And she's been with us even since 1100 KFNX, the radio days. Welcome back, Stacy.
Good morning, Dion.
How are you feeling?
I'm good. Doing
You're
good.
doing good. How are the joints feeling?
Good.
There we go.
Because I take PEA every single day. I take my UC2 every single day. I don't necessarily take their joint health. Um, and right now I'm not currently taking the Meriva Plus, kind of balancing it out, but I do feel good.
Feeling
Yeah.
good.
For
Perfect. Well,
57, yeah. I mean, osteoarthritis was diagnosed with years ago, probably 20 years ago. So talking about that right away, that's why I take the UC2.
yeah.
Uh, we have a variety of products at Emerald Labs to address joint issues, pain issues, natural analgesics or documented superior patented ingredients that are clinically proven to support pain relief
Well,
or to
yeah,
deactivate.
absolutely. And I like starting off with some statistics just to keep everybody in the loop with why we even chose to highlight joint health.
Mm.
According to the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, an estimated 54 million adults in the U.S. have arthritis, which is 1 in 5 adults. Every 5 people you meet, one of them, if 10 people you meet, 2 of them will have some type of arthritis going on, inflammation. Whenever you see itis, it's inflammation, arth, meaning the joints. And this increases with age. About 60% or more of adults age 65 and older. And it's also more common among women than men. And then other factors that can increase the risk of developing arthritis include obesity, being inactive physically, so too much sedentary of a lifestyle, certain medical conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis, of course, family history of it increases the rates. So, this is an important thing to highlight. Like I said, a lot of people are coming in pretty much on a daily basis looking for anti-inflammatory support for the joints. So, any thoughts you wanted to add to that? Why did you think this was an important topic for the day here, Stacy?
Well, in my mind, I was thinking it's getting colder. People might feel a little bit more aches and pains across the nation, depending on where people live. Um, I just thought it would be good to, because we have several products and we haven't really discussed all of them as a group.
Right. And you mentioned the UC2 there. We can even start
Yeah.
off with UC2, which is it's a popular product here from Emerald Labs. Again, the additive-free company, and they're
Mhm.
all physician formulated, just like us here at the medical center. We're naturopathic medical doctors. All their formulas are formulated by Dr. Mark Stengler, who we've had on before. I think once. I want to have him on again though, Stacy, if we can set that up here. Dr.
Okay.
Mark Stengler, he's the formulator there at Emerald Labs. So let's start off with UC2, and I'll do a screen share here, and we'll
Okay.
break down the ingredients. Go ahead.
Yeah. So UCT, I mean, it's a very simple recipe or formula, it's not recipe. It's a very simple formula. It's undenatured collagen type 2, which is a patented collagen. It's shellfish and bovine free. It's 40 milligrams that are in the human clinical studies. So if somebody wants to look up the human clinical studies, they're going to see 40 milligrams. And this is what Dr. Stengler's using. The second ingredient is another patented ingredient, Meriva phytosome. Um, it's basically it's turmeric, and the turmeric is broken down to a 22% curcuminoid from the active curcumin, and so it's 150 milligrams of that, and That's like an anti-inflammatory. Then he's got three joint an herbal joint compound in there using pomegranate and ginger root and grapeseed extract. That's about 95% OPCs. So anti-inflammatory properties across the board with all three of those. And so, I mean, basically, when we look at things, like just like what you're saying earlier with the age, the stress, daily wear and tear, or injury happening with somebody, it really initiates like an inflammatory process within our bodies. And so that inflammatory process, what's unfortunate is that the body reacts to the inflammatory process. So we're looking at like foreign invaders kind of thing, these antigens. And so what happens is that our body starts to produce the collagen specific antibodies, specifically the T cells. And so those collagen antibodies specific like are drawn to those collagen antibodies are drawn to like an inflamed site. So like if I break my wrist, okay, so body thinks, oh my gosh, we have to start to repair. So what happens is then that the body starts to send out the collagen specific antibodies, which secrete these enzymes that actually break down cartilage in the joint. And so they're little metabolites and what happens with these antibodies. And so they're drawn to the site, but then they kind of loiter. They're too big to get into that inflamed site. And so what happens is these little metabolites start to get in to the cartilage and start to break down that whole area. So this
Right.
is kind of a bad thing because um, the more inflammation that you have, the more antibodies that are going to be secreted and the more damage that can occur. So what happens is with the UC2 has been proven to actually deactivate. And so this is all clinically studied, actually deactivate those collagen specific antibodies, the T cells. And so by deactivating them, they cannot break down into the
Interesting.
little metabolic guides that are small enough to wiggle into the distressed site.
Right.
And so deactivating them is really crucial. But the one thing that happens with this Meriva phytosome is this is turmeric, so it's a strong anti-inflammatory, it's a strong antioxidant, but this anti-inflammatory, so if we're lessening inflammation in the body, then we're going to have less flags raised to release the collagen specific antibodies, right?
Right.
So for layman terms, I would say that Meriva phytosome, so less inflammation in the body, less Meriva phytosome, let's say this, lessens inflammation in the body, and the UC2 stops the deactivation,
Right.
stops the destruction of the cartilage.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just two ways we can, instead of getting so biochemical, right? Just people just need to understand less inflammation leads to less collagen antibodies. Collagen antibodies can be deactivated by the UC2. And so this is something that, and then you have the grapeseed and the pomegranate and the ginger. So this whole thing, and the BioPerine is just to help with absorption.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's really no other value to that except just helping with absorption. It's a very small amount, so people do not need to be concerned about the black pepper extract there. So bottom line is people will feel this within a week. You will start to feel a difference, and you will feel it also if you stop taking it. So your body really responds very, very um, gratefully with the UC2. And then the Meriva overall, Dr. Stengler loves this ingredient, and we have this ingredient in a lot of our formulas, from the osteo formula to the joint health formula to our memory formula for recall. Osteo health, it helps with removing the little fibroblasts or the debris from the osteoclast with
Right.
joint rebuilding. Um, it's in our liver health because it helps with reactive oxygen species, scavenging those. So Meriva phytosome, this is a patented ingredient. And so the 22% curcuminoids are very, very potent. It is in a really clean base of sunflower. Um, and the way that this is absorbed, because if some listeners might not know, but turmeric is very poorly absorbed by the human and animal body, just like
Mm.
quercetin or just like
Yeah.
berberine. So this company is that we purchased this Meriva phytosome from is from Indina, and Indina specializes in phytosome technology. So that's basically taking the active curcuminoids in this case here for the Marie from the turmeric. So the curcuminoids are put into a fat bubble. And in this
Mm.
case with the UC2, it's a project verified non-GMO phosphatidylcholine bubble. Okay. So people can look up the studies on Meriva to see about the anti-inflammatory
Right.
aspects of it, especially if you're very inflamed from wear and tear, or like you were saying earlier, hands from carpal tunnel, um, climbing stairs a lot, or past injury that kind of culminates, especially when I was saying earlier about it getting cold. Um, so this is a really great product. And so the Meriva Phytosome right away has been proven. So it's 20 times more bioavailable than standard turmeric, okay? And it stays in the system longer. So that's really important. Um, 200% more effective than standard 15 milligrams of glucosamine and 1200 chondroitin, which is a standard formula in a lot of joint health
Right.
uh, supplements, right? So that's very standard. Chondroitin sometimes has been noted as being too big of a molecule to really be absorbed to where it needs to go. So with us, we use BioCell collagen, which is more like um, a matrix of hyaluronic acid, chondroitin, and something else. Hyaluronic acid, chondroitin, and what else does it have there?
I know there's some
I think
vitamin
it's
C
three
probably in there.
things. Yeah. So anyway, the UC2, I really encourage it for people um, to, especially if it's a recurrent injury or recurrent pain. Um, if somebody has foot issues, ankle issues, wrist issues,
Right.
typing, neck. Another thing too, this UC2 has really been helpful for with claims for osteoarthritis. So autoimmune diseases, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, they actually have documentation on really helping with the pain associated with those kind of things. So the reason I take it is for my neck have osteoarthritis, and so
Mm.
it is very, 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 very effective for me.
Thanks, Stacy, for breaking that down. Again, this was in a double-blind human clinical study. It's one of the higher levels of research when you get a double blinder. Triple blind is hard to get, but double blind is really good as well. And that's what Stacy was referring to. That just the UC2 alone was 200% more effective than that chondroitin glucosamine combo at 1.5 grams and 1.2 grams respectively. And so that's not only what's in here though. You have the UC2 with everything else that Stacy was mentioning, like ginger, pomegranate, grapeseed extract, and then the Meriva. One thing I'd want to add is like 100 years ago, even here in America in the Western world, we were getting more collagenous types of protein in the diet, and things like gelatin and bone broth, cooking with bones more often. So we were getting way more amino acids that support joint health, that are anti-inflammatory, like glycine, glutamic acid, hydroxyproline, proline, all these types of amino acids. Whereas nowadays, it's more things like methionine and the branched chain amino acids and the muscle meats and steaks and just chicken breast and typical proteins, eggs, cheese. But that's one thing that's contributed to this arthritis epidemic. Not the only thing. I listed obesity, physical inactivity, certain medical conditions, family
Mhm.
history, but the diet has changed a lot, and that's why in like the Eastern world, Stacey, like in Japan and certain the Middle East, Africa, other parts of Southeast Asia, they're getting a lot more collagen type of proteins, collagenous, gelatin, and really good joint supporting amino acids in the diet compared to in the Western world, in America, Western
That's a
Europe,
really good point
Australia, things like
because
that. So
it is America, which is the biggest issue because things are so processed as well. So when you talk about the bone broth, I'm a big component of bone broth. I make it weekly and store it in those little silicone uh, ice cube trays. And so
yeah,
I buy a big bag of, organic chicken feet and like very serious about my bone broth.
yeah,
So it is really an important point for people or listeners to understand the fact that an American-based diet, it needs to be supplemented with a lot more nutrients than people think. And like you're just pointing out with Japan, they're also very known for their bone health. Their bone
yeah,
health is very, very strong because look at all the mineral content that they're getting as well from like the seaweeds and all of the important
yeah.
greens that they really incorporate with every meal.
Right.
So
And
UC2.
they use the entire animal in their cooking instead of just the muscle meat. That's a big part of it. So again, that's the UC2 joint formula, bovine and shellfish free, and it has the Meriva curcuminoids in there, clinically studied undenatured collagen from non-GMO chicken source. But then we also have the Meriva Turmeric Plus, like just straight up Meriva in this formula, which is probably
Yeah.
going to be, it's going to be giving you significantly more of the Meriva turmeric extract, 500 milligrams per 2 capsules, whereas the UC2 is giving you 150 per 2 capsules, but it does have the collagen in there, the standardized cartilage, the grapeseed extract, which is 95% OPC standardized. So then why would one pivot to more of this one, which includes the MSM actually with it and
Right.
vitamin
Off to
C?
MSM.
How
These
would
are
we differentiate?
three patented ingredients here. So we're looking at complete, we're really, in my mind, I like to say silent inflammation. This is really great for people with silent inflammation that may not know that their diet may not be so great. So this is really kind of calming down. This is more than triple the 150 mgs that
Right.
Meriva has been studied for. And so whenever you see a plus after the label, it means we've added something else to that ingredient. So the vitamin C, always people are thinking about as uh, immune support, but also this vitamin C helps with zinc, right?
Yep.
Absorption. We're looking at an anti-inflammatory in this vitamin C. This Opta MSM, I've got some information on the MSM because this is a branded form of MSM, and everybody hopefully understands that MSM is an anti-inflammatory. But this Opta MSM is made in America. It's a superior form of MSM. It's distilled from DMSO. It's a six-time distillation. And so they found an opportunity to get DMSO into a great form. I'm a big fan of DMSO for as an like an analgesic painkiller topically as a spray, but not a lot of stores carry it. Probably Healthy Habits carries it.
Yep.
Do you carry the DMSO?
Yes, well, we did. It's always changing and updating, but as far as I know,
Yeah.
at the time of this recording, we do. So,
So this Opta MSM is readily available for absorption as an amount, as a supply of sulfur. And it relieves the bioburden of essential amino acids, cysteine and methionine that you were just bringing up,
yeah.
thereby ensuring sufficient quantity available for critical metabolic processes. So I think that kind of ties in exactly what you were just saying about people getting too much of the issue of the amino acids from
Right.
the sources that may not be as clean or as available for the body to utilize, um, in
And,
fact, there.
and there is a good book. It's called The Miracle of MSM. I don't know who the
Hmm.
author is right now. I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, by Stanley Jacob. It's a medical doctor. I actually have this book, so that's another for those that want to go even deeper on MSM, the natural solution for pain. This is a book you guys might want to pick up. But even allergy sufferers, you can use it since, like you mentioned, there's like that sulfur component in there
Yeah, yeah.
where if you get a
And
little
so,
dose of that, it can help. It's like a vaccine almost. It can help upregulate your ability to handle different allergens. So that's
exactly.
MSM.
Yeah, so it provides a sulfur need for many of the body's metabolic reactions, including sulfation, which is the process of adding sulfur to the molecules. And it
Mm,
allows more of the sulfur containing an essential amino acid like methionine to be used for synthesis of proteins and other important molecules rather than as a source of sulfur. So
right.
different benefits. We do have it in several of our of our formulas, but just for the consumer to know as well, all three of these are patented ingredients. And so we're looking for results with these formulas. And so when you're looking at patented ingredients, Dr. Singler's only using human clinical studied ingredients. He does not like to look at animal studies. So he's looking at patented ingredients that have human clinical studies. And he always will go back to that statement. No human clinical studies. So this is
Right.
super important for the consumer that's label reading to take note of what is patented, what's trademarked, what's registered. And if you needed to do your own homework, you can go and see if that's going to work for
Yes.
you and come back and
Uh,
purchase it. You can always
and yeah.
screenshot the back of the label or the supplement facts box, screenshot it, or send it, send the information to yourself when you get home. You can research and study that.
Yeah, and to add to that, if you're going to research these, instead of just typing in MSM benefits for joint pain, type in Opti MSM. That's the one that's a
Mm-hmm.
registered trademark, which is the one you can see right here on the label OPTI MSM. Or instead of just turmeric extract for pain for arthritis, type in Meriva turmeric
Hmm.
extract, which is the registered trademark form, the MERIVA. Same with vitamin C. Instead of just vitamin C for arthritis and pain, do Pure Way C, which is the trademark version of the vitamin C, which has the studies to back it up. So thanks for clarifying that. And one thing I like about Emerald, if you look at the other ingredients, it's just a vegetable capsule, which a lot
Yep.
of customers really appreciate, and that's why they stick with Emerald long term. You're not getting any other fillers in there or
And this is a,
preservatives.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we try to be very conscientious with the capsule size. Now this has got 500 of the turmeric, and that molecule is a little bit bigger, the powder. So this vegetable capsule, it's a quick dissolving two shell hard cap. It's like non-GMO. Um, project verified. It's wood pulp coming from pine bark. So it's a very top of the line capsule. So
Hmm.
that's important to point out. And also with the MSM, I have written down here, it's shown to benefit joint health issues. So this is why it's in our joint health. This is why it's in the Meriva Plus. And so we're looking at pain and swelling and mobility and reducing also Opta MSM has shown to reduce in studies exercise induced oxidative stress and muscle fatigue.
Uh huh. Incredible. Yeah, I mean, and you did mention DMSO earlier. That's one thing that we do add in IVs here as well at the medical center. If your
Really?
folks are looking for deeper support to drive in all the other nutrients deeper, we do have DMSO as an 80% extract here, compounded from our provider, our compounding pharmacy, which
Ooh,
helps to drive
wow.
everything, and it's really good for pain. It does come through the pores though for about 24 hours after, which some people don't like the smell.
They smell
Uh,
kind of garlicky, yeah?
yeah, sulfury, garlicky. To me, it's not that bad of a smell. Some don't mind it at all, some do. So that just depends. Some want us to leave it out, but it does add a whole nother dimension of power to the IV therapies with pain, inflammation, and helping to absorb all the other nutrients even better. So, folks, we're talking with Stacy Faulkner here on episode 247, and we had a back to back with Stacy not too long ago. So make sure you check that out. You can hit the little search bar in our YouTube channel under videos or in the Spotify and just type in Stacy or Faulkner, Faulkner, to stay in the loop with what's going on at Emerald. And we'll finish off on joint health. And I'll give
Yeah.
one more reminder here on MSM for those that want to read deeper. Go check out this book, order it. Just type it in on Google. This green one I have here at home in my library.
Hmm.
Just type in The Miracle of MSM on Amazon or just Google, and then you can buy it to the natural solution for pain, back pain, headaches, muscle pain, arthritis, athletic injuries, allergies, and more. So
Look at
that'll
that.
be a good. Uh, it's by two medical doctors and then Martin Zucker as well. So that would be a nice thing to add to your library. Joint health. Stacy, let's finish off
Yeah.
on this product. Looks like it's combining almost a little bit of everything that we've discussed so far.
I know. So
So
these are
let's
these are
finish off
tried and
here.
true. Yeah. So if we're looking at that one, we've got the 1,500 milligrams of the glucosamine, which is very standard for joint support and anti-inflammatory as far as helping out with glucosamine across the board is just really helpful as far as being a natural compound to help out with cartilage. I've got information here. So it's involved in stimulating proteoglycan, which is an essential component of cartilage, proteoglycan. Synthesis, okay, so involved in stimulating proteoglycan synthesis and decreasing the activity of the enzymes that break down the cartilage, lining the parts of the bones in the joint that rub against each other. So some
Hmm.
people will call it bone on bone.
Right.
Some people have a lot of issues with that knee and the hip, with the bone on bone, and the feet as well. Um, so it's used to treat conditions caused by inflammation. So if you already have the inflammation, the glucosamine sulfate, which is shellfish sourced, and so people need to be aware of that. We try to be really transparent on the labels for people that may be vegan. Obviously, this joint health is not going to be vegan or vegetarian, because the glucosamine is shellfish source, and then the biocell collagen is chicken source. It's got some of the hyaluronic acid and the chondroitin sulfate in there. But so let me see. It's used to treat conditions caused by inflammation. This is still that glucosamine breakdown and loss of cartilage. So it might provide pain relief for people with osteoarthritis. So you can kind of vacillate or go different ways. If you can either use the UC2, two little tiny capsules if you just want those couple ingredients in there if you're looking at an itis, is what
Right.
Dayan explained earlier. Okay. Or you can go into more, this could be more of a formula like if you're working out a lot, then
Right.
wear and tear of physical activity. This would be very helpful to bring it kind of the body back. Otherwise, people could look into like, we can talk about this another time where they can go back to the PEA. PEA is really great for muscle recovery, lactic acid as well. So this product here, or this formula here, is pretty full. We got 100 milligrams of the Meriva Phytosome that you just explained to everybody. 150 is what's normally being studied. Um, and then the joint herbal blend as well of the green tea, the pomegranate, the ginger root. So antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. Okay. What did I write out here? So if I can, let me see, explain to the consumer quickly the BioCell collagen. It's a patented natural matrix of type 2 collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate. It's clinically proven again. So this is a patented BioCell collagen, and it's shown to be effective for joint swelling, motion, and stiffness. So if I'm going to recommend this product, I would more recommend this product for um, exercise related pain and discomfort.
Okay.
Okay. Um, then I did break down. So if people are really more interested in me, just instead of me just saying green tea, pomegranate, ginger root, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, I can go more into detail. Okay. So the grapeseed extract. I have grapeseed extract contains polyphenols. Those are plant-derived micronutrients called procyanidins, which provide antioxidant protection and the ability to alleviate inflammation.
Mm.
So boom. The high OPCs in this standardized extract ensure particles are small enough for proper absorption, which may reduce inflammation and oxidative stress related to the joint comfort.
Got it.
So it's very specific. I should explain this more to people. Um, what's next on there? The Meriva Phytosome we've clearly gone over. Green tea extract. Okay, green tea, rich in polyphenols and contains a catechin, which is an antioxidant called EGCG. I'm not even going to say that the whole word. So it's an anti-inflammatory, shutting down chronic inflammation through multiple chemical pathways by acting on rogue nitric oxide in diseased joint environments. In normal joint conditions, nitric oxide regulates inflammation as a healer.
Right.
In abnormal, non-healing environments, nitric oxide production stays on, creating further chronic damage. Green tea extract helps shut down runaway nitric oxide production and downgrades oxidative damage. Boom.
Interesting.
Pomegranate. Is that what's next? Pomegranate. Pomegranates rich in polyphenols, so it's a common denominator here, which are plant-derived micronutrients, have been shown to have health benefits related to antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Anti-inflammatory effects of pomegranate intake are due to its antioxidant properties. Pomegranate intake has shown improvement in plasma antioxidant capacity, as it has also been shown to decrease oxidative damaged
Yep.
molecules and increase antioxidant dependent immune response in patients with inflammatory disease. Human clinical studies indicate pomegranate can reduce oxidative stress and systemic inflammation. And then I'll finish with the ginger root. It's rich in polyphenols, again, plant-derived micronutrients, also known as antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It's been used to treat inflammation. Um, COX 1 and 2 are targets widely used for anti-inflammatory drugs. NSAIDs to provide relief from pain and inflammation. And varying ginger root compounds have been shown to inhibit the COX 1 and 2. So those are widely used in the anti-inflammatory drugs
Mm-hmm.
and contribute to the anti-inflammatory activity of other products. So this product, joint health product, in my mind, for everything that hopefully the consumers took that in, because that was a lot of big words there. To avoid NSAIDs, to avoid like acetaminophen, the Tylenols, the whatever they're the over-the-counter ones that
Right.
who can really directly affect the liver. So the COX 1 and 2, the NSAIDs, so whatever we can help naturally that have the human clinical studies, I would always direct the consumer to go there instead of taking several over-the-counter NSAIDs, like acetaminophen and I can't think of what other ones are because I don't take them, that kind of stuff.
Right. Like all those
What are,
anti-pain. Yep. The
yeah,
Tylenols, the
I'm like, I can't
aspirins,
even
the.
think that they, so
This is good.
acetaminophen is the only one that comes off the top of my head because I've been reading so much and listening to so much stuff on the claim of the claim of the Tylenol claim in autism. So
Right.
I had to go down that rabbit hole.
No, that's good. That's super helpful. And this is like, if you really want to take it up a notch, I would
Yeah.
consider this joint health formula. And we're basically at the end here. It's all the
Yeah.
time we have left here for today with Stacy. But the joint health formula by Emerald Labs, it almost combines a little bit best of both worlds here on the Meriva Turmeric Plus, and then the UC2 joint formula,
Hmm.
which are good intros if you're really trying to get some inflammation under control here and focus specifically on the joints. You might want to consider the UC2. But like Stacy was saying, if you're physically active, an athlete potentially with also having joint issues, this would take it up a notch with 3 capsules a day here on the joint health formula. And we can even spend a whole 2 hours just on this alone, breaking down the pomegranate, which Emerald
Yeah.
even has that as a standalone. They have the
Yeah.
pomegranate extract. So
We can
amazing.
look into that. In the future, we can look into like some of those
Absolutely.
fruits, like the pomegranate, the sea buckthorn. We can do a fruit episode.
Especially in a lot of we do a lot of anti-cancer therapies here for patients. We're not an oncology clinic, but a lot of patients come to us for supportive anti-cancer care, and then
Uh-huh.
that's where the green tea extract, the ginger root, the pomegranate can all be helpful, especially in men's health. Pomegranate for the prostate. So
Yeah.
we can go on and on, but we got to leave it there for today, Stacy.
Okay.
I always
All right.
appreciate you. I'll do one quick screen share here again. That's the joint health formula. This is straight from emeraldlabs.com, folks. You can go check that out. This is with the BioCell Collagen Type 2. And then we have here the Meriva Turmeric Plus, which is the 500 milligrams,
Mhm.
triple the strength of what you'll find in either of the two joint formulas. And then the UC2. Always appreciate your time,
Thank
Stacy.
you.
I look
Yeah.
forward to our next one. Keep educating people. We always
Okay.
appreciate your trainings.
All right.
Thank you,
Have a
my dear.
great weekend ahead.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.